Some stories feel almost too intense to be real, as if they were written for the stage instead of lived behind closed doors. Sharon Osbourne's life is one of those stories. It is filled with brilliance and heartbreak, fierce love and painful scars, triumph and tribulation woven together so tightly that it becomes impossible to separate one from the other. Sharon was not simply a woman who stood beside a rock legend. She was a survivor, a strategist, a mother, a fighter, and a force of nature in her own right. Her journey is not about fame alone, but about endurance, loyalty, and the courage to keep walking forward even when life seemed determined to break her. Childhood under the shadow of power. Sharon Rachel Ardan was born in London in 1952, and from the beginning, her world was far from gentle. Her father, Don Ardan, was one of the most feared and respected figures in the music industry. He was the kind of man whose presence filled a room with tension, whose power could make careers rise or collapse overnight. Inside their home, warmth was rare, affection was not freely given, and emotional comfort was not part of the household language. Sharon grew up surrounded by loud arguments, slammed doors, and the constant sense that love was conditional. While other children fell asleep feeling safe, Sharon learned early that security was fragile and that survival often required toughness long before adulthood. A childhood marked by loss and absence. One of the deepest wounds of Sharon's life arrived when she was still a small child. Losing her mother at such a young age left an emptiness that no wealth or influence could replace. The grief was not only sadness, but a kind of foundational fracture, teaching her early that love could disappear without warning. In a house already cold with emotional distance, the absence became even louder. Sharon carried that void into her teenage years, learning to mask pain with strength and realizing that comfort was something she might always have to create for herself rather than receive from others. Learning the harsh rules of survival. By the time Sharon was a teenager, she had already absorbed lessons about power that most people never learn. She watched her father navigate the music business with ruthless precision, understanding that talent alone was never enough. Success required strategy, resilience, and sometimes a willingness to stand firm when others crumbled. Sharon's relationship with her father was often stormy, filled with clashes that tested her independence. Those conflicts were painful, but they also shaped her into someone unafraid of confrontation, someone who understood how to survive in unforgiving environments. Even before adulthood, Sharon was becoming a woman, built not by comfort, but by endurance, stepping into adulthood with scars and strength. When Sharon reached adulthood, she was far from naive. She carried emotional scars, but she also carried sharp instincts, hardened by years of witnessing the realities of power and control. She understood that trust was fragile and that love was something to guard carefully. Her upbringing had prepared her for business battles, but life was about to test her heart in ways no contract or negotiation ever could. Choosing love over legacy. In the late 1970s, Sharon stood at a crossroads. She could have followed her father's path, inheriting his empire and remaining within the safety of influence. Instead, she chose something far riskier: love. She met John Michael Osbourne, known to the world as Ozzy, a man whose life was already filled with chaos, addiction, and public judgment. Many saw him as a liability, a fallen star whose best days were behind him. But Sharon saw something deeper. She saw a wounded soul still capable of greatness. Loving him was not a fairy tale decision. It was an act of rebellion, independence, and devotion, sacrifice, exile, and building a life together. Choosing Ozzy meant stepping away from the security Sharon had known. It meant exile from her father's approval and a future filled with uncertainty. The years that followed were turbulent, marked by instability, financial strain, and the relentless storm of addiction. Sharon became far more than a partner. She became a protector, a strategist, and at times a lifeline. When they married in 1982, it was not the beginning of a perfect romance, but the forging of a partnership built on resilience, love, and the willingness to face life's storms together. Rebuilding a career and creating an empire through the 1980s and 1990s, Sharon worked tirelessly to rebuild Ozzy's career. Albums that became legendary were not only artistic triumphs, but victories born from her relentless effort behind the scenes. She managed business affairs, fought industry battles, and ensured that Ozzy could rise again. The creation of Ozfest became one of her greatest achievements, providing a platform for new talent while cementing Ozzy's legacy. But behind the success were sleepless nights, constant crises, and the emotional labor of holding a family together under extraordinary pressure, living between public entertainment and private reality. When the family opened their lives to reality television in the early 2000s, the world saw chaos packaged as comedy. Viewers laughed at the sharp humor and unpredictable family moments, but what they didn't always understand was how much pain existed beneath the surface. The cameras blurred the line between performance and real life, exposing private struggles to public consumption. Sharon later reflected that while the show brought opportunity, it also took away privacy, leaving her to endure heartbreak and challenge under the gaze of millions. Facing illness with unbreakable resolve. In 2002, Sharon faced one of her greatest personal battles when she was diagnosed with colon cancer. At the peak of public attention, she fought a deeply private war. Chemotherapy drained her strength, altered her body, and tested her spirit. Yet even in her weakest moments, Sharon remained determined to be present for her family. Her illness revealed the depth of her resilience, proving that strength is not about never falling, but about continuing even when everything hurts. Family crises and the weight of responsibility. As Sharon fought her own health battle, life delivered more blows. Ozzy suffered a devastating accident that left him hospitalized and broken. At the same time, their children faced struggles that demanded Sharon's guidance and protection. She balanced recovery with caregiving, advocacy, and emotional endurance. Her life became a constant negotiation between survival and support, and yet she continued, carrying burdens that would have overwhelmed anyone without her extraordinary resilience. Reinvention and becoming a television icon. Despite the storms of her personal life, Sharon reinvented herself professionally. She became a respected television personality, serving as a judge on major talent shows and building her own identity beyond her marriage. Her honesty, wit, and intelligence resonated with audiences. Sharon's presence on television was not just entertainment, but evidence of her ability to transform hardship into wisdom. She became proof that reinvention is possible, even after life's hardest chapters. The cruel side of fame and public judgment. Fame is never purely kind. Sharon learned that even the strongest people can become targets of criticism and backlash. Public disputes and controversies reminded her that the court of public opinion can be unforgiving. Yet Sharon's entire life had prepared her for this. She had learned since childhood that resilience must extend beyond physical hardship to include emotional endurance under scrutiny. Courageous health choices and vulnerability. Sharon continued to show courage through deeply personal health decisions. Choosing preventive surgery to protect her future was not easy, leaving scars both physical and emotional. Yet she spoke openly about her experiences, turning vulnerability into strength and offering inspiration to others facing similar choices. Her transparency became another form of resilience, proving that honesty can empower not only oneself, but countless others. A legacy built on love and endurance, Sharon Osbourne's journey is one of extraordinary complexity. From a childhood shaped by loss to a life lived under the harsh glare of fame, she has endured illness, addiction, heartbreak, and reinvention. Yet through every chapter, she has chosen love, loyalty, and resilience. Her story reminds us that strength is not the absence of struggle, but the courage to confront it. Sharon's scars are not marks of failure, but emblems of survival, proof that even in the darkest moments, it is possible to endure and to build a life of meaning. Conclusion: the woman behind the legend. Sharon Osbourne is far more than a celebrity name or a figure tied to rock history. She is a testament to perseverance, devotion, and the human spirit's ability to rise again and again. Her life teaches that true legacy is not measured only in fame or success, but in the quiet victories of courage, sacrifice, and love. Sharon's story continues to inspire because it is deeply human, reminding us that even when life demands everything, resilience and devotion can carry us through.